Hello everyone and welcome on this new weekly market analysis video from Xtreme Trader. This is Salah speaking. Before we start, please don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel, and of course share the video. I really actually guys feel your presence in the channel when you make any comments and when you leave a like button. When you hit the like button, it really means a lot to me and motivates me to give you more. As you can see guys, thankfully the last Friday's signals have went really so well. EURUSD has been activated and went all the way to the take profit level, making 58 pips of profit. However, I would like to highlight that Friday actually guys afternoon at 4:30 p.m. Dubai time, we had the employment cost index for the USD dollars, which of course has affected the signals. And as we can see guys, almost all of them were actually going in the right direction in a good profit right before the news changed the market. As you can see, the the pound USD was running in about 40 pips of profit before the news changed the direction of it. AUD USD hasn't been triggered. USD CAD actually was running in about 78 pips before the news again hit the market and changes the direction. USD JPY of course shot straight to the take profit level, making more than 100 pips of profit. USD CHF also was running in a good profit of about 26 pips before the news hit the market. The gold has actually been triggered and went all the way in a profit for about 145 pips before of course reverses back upon the news, but right now it's running in a small profit of about 9 pips only. So again, the signals did really so well. If the news did not hit the market, everything would have been great. And speaking of course of the news, it's important to mention that next week, Monday is going to be lazy day for trading due to the holidays. We will also be having the ISM PMIs. This actually guys can change the direction of the signals, which you are about to receive in this video. We will be also having the FOMC statement on Wednesday for the USD dollar. And I think on Friday we will be having the unemployment rate and the non-farm payroll for the USD and for the CAD as well. So please guys, be extra careful and make sure that you're closing all your positions before the news hit the market. If the market did not make any impact on the if the news did not make any impact on the market, then reopen your positions again. But to avoid any tragedy, just please make sure to close your trade before the news hit the market. I have done my part warning you, now the rest is on you. Anyway, let's see now what we can do next with this week, and let's now begin with the Euro USD. Now let's take a look at the weekly chart. Now from the first side, we can see right here actually guys that we had here a strong level of a broken support exactly at the bracket of 1.08775. The EURUSD has indeed made the bullish breakout from that level of a previous support, and seemingly also that level of a resistance also right here exactly at let me just see, at 1.09341, which means now the EURUSD is most likely gonna continue the rise. Now the question is where exactly we can start buying it, and is it going toward which level of a resistance? Well, obviously it's going toward the resistance at 1.11802. Most likely the EURUSD still has about 151 pips more to go before it reaches that level of a strong resistance, which was in the past of course a strong key level of a support. So moving to the daily chart, I want to highlight also that we had right here exactly a previous level of a real support. Now it's important to mention that this was of course the nearest support to that bullish breakout candle, which has made actually the breakout from that level of a previous resistance. Now take a look at the current date. We had right here support number 1, and right there the candle of a Friday was actually the second attempt of the support, which means indeed the EURUSD will continue the rise. If we look at that support trend line right here, we can confirm that the pair is rising and is actually climbing its way toward the resistance we have just talked about. Therefore, if I switch now to the 4-hour time frame, what I can see right here is of course a strong level of a real support exactly right here at 1.09753. Now it's important to mention also that I need to switch now to the 1-hour time frame, and let me just show you something guys. Now let's use the magic of trend lines to find the accurate and good entry for the trade. Now as you can see, if I draw the support trend line just like this, what do we see here? We are having here a real level of a support trend line then we're having here a fake breakout from that level, and indeed the same level of a support trend line has actually been broken out from again after the fake breakout, meaning this was also another support trend line number 1 as well, because after the fake breakout you start the count of the attempts again. Now we had here another fake breakout, and pay attention, the market has indeed failed to create a new resistance trend line right here. It did not happen. The market just simply ignored that level and just made here a fake breakout. Now what we will do next is simply waiting for the EURUSD to fall all the way to this level of a previous support, and from there we can start buying the pair. Now remarkably, we're having here also a strong level of a real support. That's interesting. That means that the pair is going to match up along with the support trend line and their horizontal support. That means we have to wait for the EURUSD to fall for about 24 pips before we can start buying it. And also, if we combine this with the support trend line, check this out. Exactly. Right here we're having the real level of a support trend line, which has been respected over the time. Then we had here the fake breakout. Therefore, if the EURUSD is going to continue the fall, it's going to also hit the same level of a real support trend line, and afterwards it's going to continue the rise. So all the signs says that we can indeed buy the EURUSD at this level. However, the take profit level is going to be placed right here at the peak of a real resistance at 1.10731, which means we will be actually expecting about 80 pips profit from this signal. Meanwhile, the safe zone shouldn't actually be ranging lower than this level of a support right here at 1.09546, which means the safe zone is gonna be ranging for 36 pips against 82 pips of profits. That's everything for the EURUSD. Let's now move to the pound USD. Alright, so again guys, let's now delete the old signal, which was unfortunately running in a good profit for about 50 pips. And let's see now what we can do next with this pair. Actually, by looking at the weekly chart right now, we can see the similarity between the EURUSD and the pound USD. And actually, the pound USD has made an actual bullish breakout from that long-term resistance trend line, as you can see right here. So meaning, most likely now, upon the pressure from the previous resistance right here as well, we can actually expect a small pullback for, actually not 100 pips, don't worry guys. Anyway, we will just expect a small pullback just to retest the broken level of a support trend line, a resistance trend line. Now keep in mind, I'm on the weekly chart, which means we just have to confirm the direction and not the entry, of course. And the direction for the pound USD on the weekly chart seems like it's going to be bullish, and the pair is going to continue the rise for another, I would say about 100 pips to reach the peak of the resistance at 1.26593. Let's now move to the daily chart just to see this. Now, as we can see on the daily chart, we're having here a broken structure. Exactly right there, actually, to be precise, it's actually at the peak of the resistance right there. So that structure has been broken out from, and as you can see, this was of course guys a previous level of a resistance here. This was of course a previous level of a resistance, which has already become a new support. Now that confirms that after breaking out from that new structure right here, the pound USD is most likely going to make a pullback right here, retesting the broken level of a resistance, and afterwards it's going to continue the rise, of course, by using the support trend lines. And allow me please now to switch to the 4-hour time frame. Now by using of course the support trend lines, what we can do right now is what we call the magic of trend lines, and it's simply like that. I'm going to draw the support trend line from this lower low to this higher low, just like that. And now next is going to be copying or actually cloning the same supported trend line and just simply place it right there at the nearest support trend line, as you can see, which has also become a resistance trend line and recently broken out from. Now what we will do next is simply waiting for the pound USD to fall all the way to reach that level of a previous resistance trend line, and that level of a support trend line is going to be most likely respected again. That means we have to wait for the pound USD to fall for about 50 pips before we can start buying it. But to find the accurate entry, and the actual entry I mean, let's just highlight right here guys the previous level of the resistance exactly right there at 1.25245. That's going to be actually a good entry for us, which means we have to wait for the market to fall for about 40 pips, I would say, before we can start buying the pair. And the take profit level is going to be placed also right here at the peak of the resistance at 1.26593, which means we will actually be expecting to make approximately 135 pips profit from this signal. Meanwhile, the safe zone shouldn't actually be ranging lower than this level of a previous support at 1.24582, which means the safe zone will be ranging for about 62 pips against 135 pips of profits. Okay guys, let's now move to the AUD USD. We are running in 10 minutes and we have just finished 2 pairs only. I will go now quickly with the other pairs to save your time, guys. I know long videos are not so good. However, now for the AUD USD, as we can see on the daily chart, the pair has indeed made the bullish breakout from that level of a support zone right here at the bracket of 0.65895, which seems like actually with the price action right here, we can confirm that the AUD USD is gonna continue the rise. Now, where exactly we can start buying this pair? That can be simply answered by using this level of a previous support, which was of course a real level of the support at 0.65961. And allow me also to add to the mix the support trend lines, and check this out, guys. Right here exactly, we can confirm that this has actually been a real level of a support trend line. We had here a fake breakout and then another real attempt of a support trend line. Then finally we had here the fake breakout from that same level, which means if the AUD USD is going to continue the fall, first of all it's going to be respecting the previous level of a support trend line, and also that horizontal support will be respected. So that being said, let's wait for the AUD USD to fall for about 18 pips before we can start buying the pair, and the take profit level is going to be placed just right there at the nearest previous support trend line, key support level, and also a key resistance level as well. That means that we can actually expect to make approximately 77 pips profit from this signal, and the safe zone that shouldn't be ranging lower than this level of a previous support for about 27 pips. That's gonna be a good signal, I hope. So therefore, let me now write it for you. Let's now move to the USD CAD. Alright, let's move faster, guys. I don't want to actually keep the video so long. Actually, in the nearby future, I'm planning to make the weekly analysis video just like 10 minutes length as maximum, but it's actually gonna be tough. Anyway, now regarding the USD CAD, as you can see, the pair has indeed managed to make the actual reversal from 61.8 Fibonacci retracement for this pair. Let me just check this out. Yes, exactly, 61.8. I swear, guys, I did not check this before recording. I can just tell by the naked eyes that this was, of course, Fibonacci 61.8 Fibonacci retracement. And actually on my channel, I have a video called The Magic of Fibonacci, and I have explained in a brief how you can actually be able to find 61.8 Fibonacci retracement without using the Fibonacci retracement. There is of course a way, and you can find it in that video. Anyway, now that means that the USD CAD has indeed reversed from that level, and most likely right now it's gonna continue the fall to reach that level of a previous support, which was of course in the past Fibonacci 23.6. That means that's going to be our take profit level. The USD CAD still has about 105 pips more to go, so we have to consider selling this pair. Now moving to the 4-hour time frame. Now what I'm going to do is simply using the, actually, you know what, let's keep the Fibonacci and let's use the resistance trend line, as you can see right here. So as you can see, I have drawn here the resistance trend line from this higher high to this lower high. Now what I will do next is simply drag the same resistance trend line which I have just drawn here and just place it right there at the nearest actual resistance trend line, or the real level of a resistance trend line, which has also became right here a support trend line, and then the market has made the actual bearish breakout from that support. Now we are actually facing here a support level for the USD CAD. Most likely the pair is going to make a pullback, and then it's going to reverse upon the pressure from Fibonacci 50, and from there we can sell the market. And of course the take profit level is going to be at 23.6 Fibonacci retracement, which was of course the nearest support to our entry. That being said, we have to wait for the pair to rise for another 39 pips before we can start selling it. Of course, I'm going to rely on that previous level of a resistance right here for my entry. And the take profit level, as I mentioned earlier, is going to be right here, the support at 1.34506, and the safe zone that shouldn't actually be ranging higher than the peak of the resistance right here at 1.36361, which means the safe zone ranging for about 53 pips against 130 pips of profit. Moving now to the USD JPY, which was actually really a good signal. It has, of course, was ranging inside of the safe zone before shooting up all the way toward the take profit level. However, what can we expect next with this pair? Actually, if we move now to the daily chart, we can notice right here, my friends, that we are having a previous level of a strong key support level exactly right there at 135.697. Now the USD JPY is actually facing right here a real level of a resistance, and we can actually expect a pullback and for the market to fall for about 56 pips before we can start buying it. If we look at the left side also, we can see that the same level has indeed been a real level of a support, then lately a real level of a support again. So therefore, buying right here is going to be our best shot with the USD JPY. Adding to this, of course, the supported trend line. If I check it, if I draw it just like this, this is the match, a perfect match. Now what I will do simply, guys, is just dragging the same support trend line and place it just right there at the peak of a broken resistance trend line. So as you can see, if we move now to the 4-hour time frame, now check this out. This indeed has been a strong real level of a resistance trend line. It was also a supported trend line, as we can see right here. If I just expand it a little bit more, now that level of a previous resistance trend line is going to be retested and most likely become a new support trend line. Therefore, we're having here actually a very strong support zone which cannot be simply ignored, and that's going to be, guys, the best level where we can start actually buying the USD JPY. That being said, our safe zone will be ranging for about 44 pips. Let me just fix the entry. It's going to be just like this exactly. That's going to be our best shot with the USD JPY. Meanwhile, the take profit level is going to be placed just right there at the peak of the real resistance at 137.406, which means we will actually be aiming 158 pips of profit against 45 pips of a safe zone. Let's now move to the USD CHF. Alright, so the USD CHF signal was actually really going well before the news hit the market. Now what's next with this pair? Now moving to the daily chart, we can notice actually, my friends, that the pair is most likely gonna continue the fall. Actually, the USD CHF is facing right here a major actually level of a previous support as 0.936. If we scroll to the left side, we can confirm that this level has actually been a real level of a resistance, and currently it's actually a support. So that being said, we cannot actually wait for the market to rise for another 62 pips. That's gonna be silly. Now moving to the 4-hour time frame, we can confirm that this was, of course, right here the highest level of a real resistance as 0.89718. And if I scroll now to the left side, we can confirm that this was, of course, a real level of a resistance and a support. As we can see right here, it was, of course, a real level of a resistance, real level of a support. And if I continue scrolling to the left, we can see clearly, guys, this was, if I'm not mistaken, right here, a real level of a support. I want to actually find a real level of a resistance, but again, I don't want to make the video so long, so let's go back to the current time and let's now use the support trend lines, of course, as we have mentioned earlier. Check this out. Check this out right here, guys. As you can see, exactly just like that, to be precise. Yes, like this. Now we are having here a broken level of this is a support trend line, and we're having here the bearish breakout from that level. It became also a resistance trend line number 1. This was resistance trend line number 1, and again resistance trend line number 2. Now we can actually hopefully sell the pair exactly on the third attempt of the resistance trend line. That being said, let's wait for the USD CHF to rise for another 30 pips before we can start selling it, and the take profit level is going to be placed just right here at the absolutely lowest level of the support as 88685, which means we will actually be expecting 103 pips profit from this signal. Meanwhile, the safe zone shouldn't be ranging higher than this level of a resistance as 0.90130, which means the safe zone ranging for about 40 pips against 102 pips of profits. And let's now move to the gold. Alright, so we have reached the gold at the minute 21 of the video, which is actually not so bad, but however, still I really want in the future to shorten the weekly analysis video, because I know, guys, it's really not good to give very long videos. I mean, me personally, if I see a video of 30 minutes, I usually would avoid watching it, or I feel I would have feel bored after like 3 or 4 minutes. But however, again guys, Xtreme Trader is an educational channel. All these videos are educational, and I can just simply write these signals and post them on my TradingView account. But I want you guys to actually be able to analyze the market yourself using Xtreme Trader style. And to continue guys, please don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel, and of course activate the notification button. Anyway, now what we can expect next with the gold. Now let's move to the daily chart, and let me just show you something. The market is actually still not able to break out from that long-term resistance at 2002.13. I told you before, in the gold, when we are talking about the levels, 1700, 1800, 1900, 2000, 2010, all these levels guys are so critical, and the gold is most likely gonna face a lot of rejection before breaking out of any of them. Now that means that most likely the gold is unable right now to break out from 2000 again. So most likely we will stick to sell the gold until the gold make an actual breakout from that level of 2002. I will never buy the gold, and I will keep selling it until it make an actual breakout from that channel right here to break out from the bracket of the price of 2000. So anyway, since we are now below 2000, let's focus on the sell. Let's now move to the 4-hour time frame. Now on the 4-hour time frame, we're having here two elements that we have to pay attention to. Number one is the resistance trend line. So we are having here a strong real level of a resistance trend line, which of course has faced a fake breakout. So actually, after the bullish breakout from that level of a resistance trend line, the gold has failed to create a new support trend line, and instead it became resistance trend line number 1, number 2, number 3, and we will be selling the gold exactly at the 4th attempt of that resistance trend line. Now, by looking at the left side also, we're having here a real level of a resistance exactly at 1998.06. As you can see, on horizontal level, this was of course the nearest strong real level of a resistance, which actually the market has been ranging at for quite a long time. But keep in mind that this is the nearest resistance to our entry, which means we will have to wait for the gold to rise for another, I would say, 87 pips before we can start shorting it. And the take profit level, guys, is going to be placed just right there at the lowest level of the support at 1973.64, which means we will actually be expecting 200. I need to move to the 1-hour time frame. Let's just be accurate, exactly right there. So therefore, let's expect about 240 pips of profit from the gold. Meanwhile, the safe zone shouldn't be ranging higher than this level of a previous resistance at 2011.12, which means the safe zone ranging for about 130 pips against 240 pips of profit. And there goes the signal, my friends, signals for the USD pairs and for the gold for the upcoming week. A final reminder about the news which will hit the market next week. We will be having the ISM PMIs on Monday. We will be having also the FOMC statement on Wednesday, which is gonna be, by the way, a big thing for the USD pairs. And also we will be having, if I'm not mistaken, the unemployment rate and the non-farm payroll for the USD and for the CAD on Friday. So again, guys, please pay attention to this news. They can actually change the entire direction of these signals. If anything happens, of course, I'm gonna update you with a midweek or late week or Friday analysis videos. So until then, I hope that was informative to you, and I would like to thank you for watching.